a timely present. "Ship ahoy!" roared Captain Hook as he peered through his telescope and spied his trusty seaman, Smee, rowing towards the pirate ship from the distant harbor. In his small boat, Smee was struggling to balance a very large, long parcel wrapped in festive Christmas paper. The crew eyed the strange bundle with a mix of curiosity and suspicion. With great effort, the pirate crew hauled the parcel aboard the ship. "Phew, this thing is heavy," muttered one of the crew members as he staggered back from the effort. "Ooh, half the gift tag is missing," Captain squeaked Smee. "It just says Happy Christmas to Captain Hook, not to be opened until Christmas Day." Captain Hook furrowed his brow and scratched his chin. "What is it? Who sent this to me?" he muttered, his eyes narrowing with suspicion. His fingers twitched toward his cutlass. "Let's open it and see." Suddenly, a shrill cry came from above. "Cock-a-doodle-doo," echoed the voice from the crow's nest. It was Peter Pan. "Of course you mustn't be naughty, Captain," Peter cried, grinning mischievously. "It says on the label not to open it until Christmas Day." "Bah!" Captain Hook snapped, his temper flaring. "Shoot that miserable cockcrow down," he howled. But Peter was already laughing, his voice fading as he soared out of range. "Aye, Peter, we'll see about that." Captain Hook was so cross with Peter that he gave the parcel a furious kick. The heavy bundle rocked to one side, but then settled back into place with a soft thud. But then what was that noise? Tick-tock, tick. Captain Hook's face drained of color, and he stumbled backward, eyes wide with alarm. "Did you hear that, lads?" he croaked, his voice low and trembling. "That parcel is ticking. Ah!" His whisper grew hoarse with fear. "I know what this is. It was Pan who sent me this parcel, and I can guess what's inside. That wretched crocodile who bit off my hand, the one with the alarm clock in his belly. This parcel is the perfect size for a crocodile standing on its tail," he hissed. "And on Christmas Day, when I open it, that vile creature would pop out and gobble me up." "Throw it overboard," Hook shouted, panic evident in his voice. All the crew members scrambled to obey their captain's orders. Together, they seized the heavy parcel and heaved it over the side of the ship with a great heave. The parcel splashed into the sea with a resounding kerplunk. But just as the parcel disappeared into the deep blue waters, Smee spotted something on the deck. "Looky, Captain," he babbled excitedly. "Here's the other half of that gift tag. Give it to me." Hook snatched the scrap of card from Smee's hand, his eyes filled with dread and anticipation. He quickly read aloud, "Dear nephew, I am sending you my grandfather clock for Christmas. It has been in our family for years, and if you don't take good care of it, I won't leave you my fortune. After all, signed, your rich uncle." Captain Hook froze. His blood ran cold, and a slow, furious realization dawned upon him. "Yeah," he screeched, waving his arms dramatically. "I must get that clock back." And before anyone could stop him, Captain Hook leaped off the ship, diving into the icy sea with all his clothes on, desperate to retrieve the gift. The sound of the ticking clock still echoed from beneath the waves. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Captain Hook's heart raced. He swam frantically, the cold water gnawing at his bones. "I found it," he cried triumphantly, his hand reaching into the depths. But just as he gripped the package, Peter Pan swooped down from above, his laughter ringing out like a chorus of mischief. "Cock-a-doodle-doo," Peter called. "Are you sure it isn't the clock inside the crocodile?" he taunted. Captain Hook's eyes bulged with horror. "Yake!" he screamed, his arms flailing as he scrambled to climb back onto the ship. With wild panic in his movements, Hook clawed his way up the side of the boat like a man possessed, his heart pounding in his chest. He reached the deck just in time to see the figure of a tall, burly man row toward them from the distant harbor. "Ah, there you are, nephew," the man bellowed, his voice booming across the ship. It was Hook's rich pirate uncle, arriving just in time to witness the chaos. "Well, Nevy," his uncle roared, "where's the present I gave you? You've put it in a safe place, I hope." Captain Hook straightened himself, trying to regain his composure. But before he could answer, Peter Pan swooped past, his wings cutting the air like the sound of a distant wind. He flew round Hook's uncle with gleeful mischief. "Oh yes," Peter grinned. "It's perfectly safe in Davy Jones' locker at the bottom of the sea." "What?" howled Hook's uncle, his face turning bright red with fury. "You villainous nephew, you—" He brandished his cutlass and chased Captain Hook around the deck, his heavy boots stomping in fury. "You're going to regret this, Nevy," he thundered, swinging his blade wildly. Captain Hook ran, dodging his uncle's strikes. He had just lost his uncle's precious clock, and now his future inheritance seemed as distant as the stars above. Peter Pan, still laughing, soared overhead, watching the scene with his usual mischievous delight. "I think this will be a Christmas to remember," he declared with a wink, as Captain Hook continued to flee from his enraged uncle, who wasn't about to let his greedy nephew get away so easily. And so, amid the chaos and laughter, the Christmas season drifted onward. But for Captain Hook, it was a Christmas he would never forget whether he wanted to or not.